A group of legislators sat down with the MacIver Institute recently to discuss the school accountability bill that passed last week. The lawmakers were key parts of the legislation and each agreed that while a more comprehensive bill did not pass, Senate Bill 286 is a good start.
The substitute amendment that came out of the Senate in 286 sets up the information system. And that is the first step in the process to developing an effective accountability and an effective grading system for our schools.
Representative Steve Castell, who authored the original accountability bill that included sanctions for failing schools, said it's likely the legislature just needs more time to pass a comprehensive bill.
We were trying to bite off a lot, I understand that. And I think we can eventually get there. But no matter what we do, we would have to have started or included what's now included in SB 286.
The leaders in each house, Senator Paul Farrow and Representative Jim Steineke, all signed a letter to Governor Walker vowing to pass a comprehensive accountability bill. The legislators hope to begin discussions on the new legislation soon.
We're going to work through those issues as we go over the course of the next year to determine exactly what those look like. But my preference would be that they're swift, that they're severe enough that there's actually there's actually an incentive for schools to move rapidly away from the direction that they're heading if they're in that lower category.
That's what the next couple of months is going to be, is developing how do we set up the sanctioning, how do we get things done, how do we ensure that schools are being effective stewards of the people's money, and also educating the children so that they have the tools they need to be successful.
Castell argued different types of schools should have different sanctions in the new bill.
What I think has to happen for us to be able to move forward is for us to get away from this notion that all the schools are going to be treated equally when it comes to sanctions. We can measure them equally, that's not a problem. Yeah. That's science. But the truth is that it's not rational to say we're going to treat every public school exactly the way we would treat a voucher school, because they're not the same.
All the lawmakers agreed that the state should not only focus on failing schools, but also on replicating success.
One of the concerns that I've had all along is we're looking at failure. We're looking at schools that fail. We're not looking at schools that are succeeding. And we have a number of school districts, public and private, that are successful schools. We have to figure out how to emulate that success in other districts.
We don't want to get into a situation where you see good teachers fleeing bad schools. We want to make sure that we have an incentive there for the great teachers to go into those schools and help lift them up.
Castell, the Assembly Education Committee chair, said in the end, the state needs to hold schools accountable.
When it comes to those students who the taxpayers are funding, there's a certain responsibility to make sure that we're getting the job done, because that's the only reason we have education funding, the only reason we are involved in that is to make sure kids are having the opportunity to learn. We have a responsibility to measure that and to hold folks accountable.
For the MacIver Institute, I'm Nick Novak.